welcome to another episode of On the Couch with McNeill Real Estate. My name is Janet and today I am joined by Margaret
from MW Mortgage and Wealth
and Etienne
from Deposit Assure.
And these guys have joined us today because they actually work together and they work really well together. Mainly helping sort of first home buyers, people who want to increase their wealth, people who want to buy property, and we just wanted to actually have a chat with these guys and just see how they work together and how them working together can help clients. So, Margaret.
Okay, so I guess the first clients I think about are first home buyers.
Yes.
They often have limited savings. They may not have the full 10% that vendors
or even
want.
5%.
Or even 5%. You know, sometimes they're using their parents' property as additional security and there's no cash.
Yes.
So I suggest to them that they use a deposit bond, and they're quite, what's a deposit bond? So I explain it to them, and what I find often is when they talk to their real estate agent doesn't understand it. So they then don't know how to explain it to the vendor. And so I do try to get in and talk to the real estate agent and explain that it's a guarantee, it's a rock solid guarantee that the sale's going to go through, because I can't issue a deposit bond unless the loan's been approved.
Okay.
Yeah, so so the process is that I need to get a loan approval and I need to show that there's enough funds to complete the sale. So, you know, if it's they're using their parents' place as additional security, that's where the extra comes in. Okay. And so all of that information gets sent to Deposit Assure, and then they assess it, and then they issue the deposit bond within an hour. So it's amazing.
Incredible. Yeah. So what's the sort of process when Margaret sends you a client or sends you information? How do you process that? What do you look for?
So it's effectively just like Margaret said, we want to look at the financial capacity of these first home buyers being able to settle on their purchase, and as long as the finance approval is at least subject to evaluation, we know there's no risk or very little risk because the bank has done their diligence. So the process is, you know, the letter of approval, the photo ID and the contract, and we can issue that bond within 1 business hour. And to touch on what Margaret said, a lot of first home buyers don't know about this product.
No.
And it's quite easy if you think about the mindset to ask mum and dad to leverage their equity that's sitting there in their family home, but it's quite hard.
Yes.
The next challenge is to also ask mum and dad, hey, I also need some cash.
Can I have some cash? Yeah.
That's also hard. So Margaret is absolutely spot on that a deposit bond just removes that difficult conversation and allows people to get a deposit bond to cover that 10% that's going to be paid later. So it is a great product for that.
Yeah. And the other time the deposit bond comes in handy is when people are upgrading or downgrading. They're selling their property and they're buying another one, and most of the time they want to settle on the same day. That's the perfect scenario. They settle on the same day, which means there's no cash. There's no cash available.
That's
everything is coming from the sale.
Yes.
So in those circumstances, a deposit bond is required.
Yep. So with that, you've got someone who's selling their house. They've got a contract on their house, but they need to buy something else and they don't have any cash. So, as I said previously, in Victoria, you can access the money out of Section 27. You get your deposit early. However, that's right. That's not guaranteed.
No, exactly.
So you can't rely, as a seller, you can't rely on getting access to that deposit. And even if you did, part of it is going to be paid out to the real estate agent. So you're not going to get the whole amount.
Yes.
So
the issue with the Section 27 is that the bank has to approve the release of the funds. Now, there's lots of reasons that may not happen. It could be that their property is being used as security for a business loan.
else.
It could be that they owe too much and that the bank is not going to... so you have to owe less than 8%.
Yes.
Then so if you owed 82%, sorry, Section 27 is not going to happen.
Not going to happen. Yep.
And there was something else I just thought about there, the problem with that. Also, it takes at least 28 days for you to get that.
But that's 28 days from when it's served on the purchaser.
Yes.
So if you sell it today, but the Section 27 is not served on the purchaser for 2 weeks, the 28 days starts from that 2-week period. So it could take forever.
And it could be a 60-day settlement. What's the point? You're going to get that 2
it's settled.
weeks.
Exactly.
So...
And the timing thing is a big thing. I mean, 28 days is significant. With a deposit bond, it's issued so quickly. It's just incredible. But the other key point with the Section 27 is that that 28 days, in terms of an opportunity cost, A deposit bond for, let's say, a typical example, if you're buying for $500,000 and you need a $50,000 deposit, the fee is only one-off of 1.3%. So it's a $650.
Wow.
It's a one-off
Okay.
fee you pay for a $50,000 bond.
Right.
So it's really not a lot of expense
Yes.
because there isn't a lot of risk based on having that finance approval. So it is a cost-effective and time-efficient strategy.
Yeah. And the other thing is that a deposit bond is stronger than cash. You know, anybody,
How is that? Because cash is in the bank.
No,
This is a guarantee.
It
So
doesn't mean the loan's approved. Someone
Right.
could have $100,000 sitting in their bank.
Yes.
And I've had a client recently
Yes.
purchase a property for 1.1 million.
Yes.
They paid their deposit, but they didn't have their loan approved.
right.
They hadn't even spoken to a mortgage broker. Once we started the application, we found some lumps and bumps.
Right.
There was no guarantee that this was going to go through.
Ever gonna go through.
There was
Wow.
and luckily we found a solution. We were able to get it through. But it's a perfect example.
Yes.
You can pay $100,000, or you can
Yes.
borrow $100,000 from mum and dad.
Yes.
If mum and dad have got it right. You pay that $100,000, but it doesn't mean you've got the loan approved.
Yes.
You know, what happens when it comes to settlement and you can't,
Yeah.
yes, that client, you know, the vendor might get their $100,000, but they've lost the sale. And
Yes.
that may prevent them from purchasing.
That's right.
Their sale may
Yes.
fall over.
And there's a flow on of
Exactly.
expenses.
So at
yeah.
least with a deposit bond, you know, it's rock solid. That loan has been approved and it's going to go through.
Yep.
And if it doesn't, deposit assure will, or QBE will
Cover the deposit.
Will cover the deposit.
Yep.
Yep. And then go chasing the client.
Yep.
You know, why did this fall over? So it is safer than cash.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, oh, that's incredible.
Yeah.
So you guys obviously work together a fair bit. How does that sort of work? You know, who contacts who, or who sort of, you know, works with the client and then refers? How does that work?
Yeah, so everything's done electronically. I lodge everything electronically. There's a platform that I upload everything to, and you know, we don't actually talk to each other.
Oh,
We don't actually need to. We don't actually need to even talk to the client unless
Right.
there's some sort of a delay. So effectively, as long as we get the finance
Yeah.
approval, the contract and the photo ID from the mortgage broker, and normally it's the mortgage broker first,
Yes.
because they're the ones that are sitting at that initial interview,
Yes.
if you're lucky enough to be brought in that early.
Yes.
I'm sure you sometimes get brought in quite late in a piece.
yes.
And you're trying to chase your tail, yeah.
And you know, good mortgage brokers will ask that question, where's that
Yes.
10% coming from?
Well,
Yes.
I will see it when
you'll see it,
I'm
exactly.
filling in the initial needs
Yeah.
analysis.
Yeah.
You don't have.
Hold on a minute, guys.
Yes.
Yeah. This isn't going to work.
You don't have a deposit here.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
You know, and that's where we talk through. Oh, we're going to use mum and dad's. Mum and dad's going to go guarantor. Oh, okay.
Well, in that
in
case,
that case,
yeah.
when you go to make an offer,
Yes.
you know, real estate agent's going to want 10%. You don't
Correct.
have it. So,
Yeah.
and I'll often give them some literature or a link,
Yes.
you know, so that they can have a read of it and also pass it on to
understand.
the real estate
Yeah.
agent. But I also do like to call the real estate agent. And I find that once I talk to the real estate agent and I explain it, they're like,
Yeah.
oh, I didn't realise that. I
realise,
didn't
yeah.
understand that. So
We also support you brokers as well with real estate agents like yourself. I mean, you understand the product, but so many don't.
Yes.
And don't see the opportunity in terms
Yep.
of what that presents. So we can help with literature as well to try
Okay.
and help. At the end of the day, we're all after improving
That's-
the client outcome.
Exactly. We're all
Yeah.
we're all after that same end point, which is to
Exactly.
help someone sell their house and someone buy.
That's exactly right.
And
As
as far as the clients are concerned, it's so quick and easy. Like the deposit bond application is filled in at the same time we're doing the application. You know, and I have it just all sitting there waiting for the loan approval to come through. Loan approval hits my desk. I send the deposit assure application off. Hour later,
Yep,
everyone's
you've got
got a
it
copy.
approved. Yeah,
Yeah.
brilliant, brilliant. I know from a real estate perspective, like for me, when I'm sitting down with a buyer and I'm, you know, we're negotiating, obviously, we've got a price that we want to put forward to the owner, and I say to them, you know, your deposit, do you have 10% deposit? It's either yes or no. If it's a no, do you have 5%? Do you have any money? But if it's a yes, I've got the deposit. Okay, where is that money? Is it in the bank? Are you wanting to get it out of a Section 27 because you've just sold your house? Is it from a friend? Where is this money coming from? And I asked this question because I've been caught out as well. I've had people say to me, oh yeah, I've got the money. So, okay, well, we put in the contract that you're going to pay the 10% deposit on you know, finance approval. Fantastic, comes finance approval. No, we actually don't have the money. We were waiting on it to come out of our sale. but we haven't lodged a Section 27, or the Section 27 hasn't been approved. So now you're up the creek because you've signed a contract saying you'll pay a deposit by a certain time. You don't have the money. So actually go through that first and say, okay, where is this money? Do you actually have it in your hand available? Is it, even if it's in a term deposit, it might not be maturing for another 6 months. Can you get it out early? So then from my perspective, I can then say to them, if they don't have that, well, here's another option for you. Have you considered deposit bond?
So I think we make the assumption that the clients know more than they know.
Exactly.
And you know, they may think, oh, I'm going to get the deposit from my sale, so I'll be able to use that deposit for this one. They have no idea what a Section 27 is.
Exactly.
You know? They have no idea that it's going to take a minimum of 28 days. So it's up to us to educate them and to tell them that stuff, because they don't know. Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that, you know, we're in an age where it's very hard to differentiate between yourself and your next competitor, broker, and even myself. And I think the one thing that we've got is being able to solve more problems for our clients. And I think that's something, and because that leads to greater retention, greater loyalty, and then, you know, a repeat sale down the track. And I think that's really important. So you're right, having that up and open in the front when you're sort of discussing the deposit. Did you know this is an option? And in Victoria, you're going to get a lot of upside and a lot of take up, because I guarantee you about 90% of the people you meet through that door have never heard of it before. It could be, it's only probably 3 or 4% of your clients that will actually take you up, but they're people who had no idea that it even existed. So it's a great opportunity, and I think it helps everybody cement that transaction.
No, that's fantastic. Well, thank you very much for joining us, guys. It's been very informative, and it's brilliant to see sort of how there is this interaction, I guess, also between real estate agents, brokers, and deposit assure. So at the end of the day, as we said, all we want is to help someone sell their house and buy a house, and have as smooth and easy a transaction as they can. So great, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks very much. Thanks, Margaret.
Thank you.